The supervisory priest of Gudu Archdeaconry Diocese of Abuja, the Venerable Owoeye, has appreciated God for the success of the Gudu Archdeaconry Women's 2024 Midyear Thanksgiving and for all that he has done for members of the Archdeaconry, his life, family, and ministry. Speaking in an interview with ACNNTV News, the vicar also ascribed his gratitude to God for the grace given to all to survive the crisis in the country.
We thank God for what God is doing in our lives. In fact, this year has been so good to us, not only to the women, but to God. God has been so good, God has been so wonderful. And the women of Basilica of Grace, they deemed it fit to thank God for seeing them through the half of this year. Many of them have several testimonies. Immediately after the service, somebody was just telling me that all our prayer requests this year, God has answered over our life, our children, our family, our place of work, and everything. And if we look at even the situations we find ourselves in this country, that for the fact that we are still alive is enough to praise God. So God has been so wonderful to us, has been so good to us. In spite of the hardship, God has not allowed us to go cap in hand, has never allowed us to go about begging. So God's faithfulness endureth forever in our lives. And we thank God for this church. Both men and women have reasons, several reasons, to praise God. We have been doing all our work. We have been going about our businesses, our offices, and God has seen us through. We have never had any bad news. God has not allowed such bad news to get near us, and God has been so good to us. So the women have taken the initiative to thank God for seeing them through the half of this year, and with hope and expectation that the same God that saw them through January to June will see them through the rest of this year. It's my prayer that God will continue to preserve us and protect us and shield us and make his face to shine upon us, that by this time next year none of us will be missing, and God will keep all our women and all men alive to continually appreciate God for what God has done in their lives. Just like Psalm 34 says, I will bless the Lord at all times. In times of need, in times of lack, in times of difficulty, the psalmist says, I will bless the Lord, irrespective of the situation. And he says, his praise shall continually be in my mouth. So it is a heart that praises God, that God blesses. You know, if you can think very well, you also know that God has done so much for us. But the problem we have these days is because people don't normally recount what God has done. They prefer to count what God has not done. But if you can think very well, you can sit down and look at what God has done for you and in your life. You know that you may not be where you want to be, but certainly you are not where you used to be.